USCJ? It's your boy Jakeem. Really appreciate what you're doing for USC culture, man. Keep going.
Going on, shout out USCJ, man. Appreciate the support. Shout out to USCJ, you know what it is, nothing but love, man.
All right, come on in. Let's talk about it. Happy Saturday to everybody. Look, we don't even have a game today, but we got a game time show, man. So look, we got a special guest. My bad. I think my mic went out. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. We got a special guest, and it's Marvin Powell, man. And Marvin is a former Trojan, played at USC. And look, Marvin, can you just tell us the fan base a little bit about yourself? I know who you are, but just tell the fan base who you are and what your Trojan stripes are, if you will.
Absolutely. Yeah. So I'm a former USC Trojan football player, fullback. Is that background me? You have a background, Jay?
No, I don't.
Okay.
It sounds clear.
Yeah. From 95 to 98, I played fullback and tight end for USC. I played 3 years for John Robinson. I played 1 year for Paul Hackett. I was fortunate to play with quite a few great players. We were there and won the Rose Bowl versus Northwestern. After USC, I was fortunate enough to have played for Mike Ditka his last season for the New Orleans Saints. But before me, there was another Marvin Powell. My father, Marvin Powell Jr., played tackle for the USC Trojans from 1973 to 1976. He played for John McKay, where they won the national championship and Rose Bowls. My father was a two-time All-American at USC, the number 4 pick in the draft, and went on to 5 Pro Bowls with the New York Jets. And I'm just fortunate to be a second-generation Trojan. USC has always been my dream school. I was the kid in 3rd and 4th grade telling people I'm going to USC. And thank God in 1994, after my senior year at Birmingham High School in the San Fernando Valley, John Robinson offered me a scholarship at the university, and the rest is history.
Absolutely, man. So look, man. Marvin has some history. He has some stock in his USC program. He has some stripes, if you will, and so we want to kind of get into some of the things that. Is somebody here in Echoland, man? I see somebody put this in the chat. Is anybody else here in Echoland? Let me know. I can't hear it on my end. I don't hear anything. You guys let me know. So look, Marvin, man, let's just jump right into it. And once we get into this, I can't hear any echo. Somebody says echo. I don't know. Do you happen to have YouTube on at all, Marvin?
Do I have YouTube?
Sometime if it's on, they said when you talk. Sometime if it's on, it'll echo.
Okay, so I don't have any YouTube.
Okay,
and
cool.
I typically don't get echo.
No, but echo with Marvin. It says echo with Marvin. I don't know. I tell you what. Try to come right back. It says echo bad with Marvin. I don't know. Try to come right back in and come right back out if you can. I'll be right here.
Okay.
Just try that. Try that. All right, we'll see what's going on with Marvin's mic in just a second, and we'll get it rolling. But I got some intel that I want to share with you guys. When he's on, okay. I got some intel I want to share with you guys. Let's see. Okay, here he is right here. How does it sound now? Let me know. Oh, hey Marvin, can you say something real quick? Can you hear me? Mark, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. How does Marvin sound now?
I can hear the echo.
You can hear the echo?
I can hear it. I do. Yeah, I do podcasts every day. I never get an echo. I have an echo today. I'm not sure why.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm not even sure. We'll try to keep it moving. I'm not sure why the echo is there. But look, from a perspective of where this program stands right now, man, how bad is it? Somebody keeps saying, I'm not sure. I can't hear it on my end. So from a perspective of where things are right now, Um, how optimistic are you? How optimistic would you say that you are as it relates to this program right now? I feel very optimistic, and some of the intel that I'm gonna share today, I think it's kind of some things that the Trojan fan base has been, I guess, they've been wanting for a while, and I think USC is going to probably get it, and it's going to be from I'm not sure necessarily from a schematic standpoint, but we've had guys out, Alex Graham and of course R.J. Sermon, that they've been out for a while, and I think the plan was once Prophet Brown got out of there, that Alex Graham was going to be the guy that take that spot, and be the nickelback. You guys know that Kamari Ramsey has been a nickelback for the most part all throughout this season, and all of us felt like Kamari Ramsey was, that was his position of strength, playing the safety spot. And now that he's out, he was projected to be an All-American guy. And from what I'm told, I'm just say this, is that, it looks like Alex Graham may be practicing with the ones. And so we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens with that if Kamari Ramsey officially goes back to the safety. But, it's kind of some bittersweet with that. And I want to hear your thoughts on this if this is the case. And we're going to get into this defense. We're going to get into the whole team. But I feel like, Marvin, that Kamari Ramsey's an All-American safety. And it's hard to see him off to that safety position. I just kind of feel like him playing up top, he diagnosed plays incredibly. And I think that's the kind of his specialty. And then you hate to see a guy, if that's the case, Christian Pierce get out of there, because he's playing, coincidentally, some phenomenal ball. So we'll talk about some different things, man. But what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think Kamari is one of the best players in the country as a safety. I think that we put him in a tough spot when we put him at nickel. And without question, when you look at the USC defense and you look at what we were excited about in regards to our defensive backs and our defense, that was with Kamari Ramsey playing safety. That was with him having the green dot, playing in the middle of the defense, 15 yards in front of the quarterback. And moving him around shows his flexibility, but the reality is we're at our best when he's playing at the top of that defense, calling it from the safety position.
Oh, no doubt, no doubt. So when you look at it from that perspective, I mean, Christian Pierce, there may be some packages where if this happens, I'm just saying, this is just what I've been hearing. If this happens, we'll see a situation that maybe Christian Pierce, maybe they stack the box type of thing. But here's the other aspect I want to know. From a stack in the box standpoint, playing the three linebacker set, we have some struggles in the secondary. So would you rather see, whether it's an Eric Gentry, whether it's Jaden Walker, or a Tamir Robinson, some of those guys maybe as a three linebacker set, or Desmond Stevens as well? How would you? What do you think about that?
Yeah, I want to see the best 11 on the field. Going into the season, I was worried about our linebacker depth. Lincoln Riley came out and said that our linebacker depth is okay. So with that said, I was expecting to see, some three-backer stats and to see a better rotation. The reality is, as I've been watching, as I watched our defense get gashed against Illinois, we need somebody stout to get in there. Whether it's a strong safety or a linebacker or bringing in another D lineman, we need somebody stout in the run game. Right now, Gentry is having a good year. I'm seeing him make real impact plays. I'm seeing Steven make plays as well. Desmond, I'm waiting to see him do more, to be honest with you. I'm waiting to see him grow and continue to mature as a backer. And I'm waiting, and I want to see that third backer come in there, especially against Michigan and Notre Dame. We're going to need that stout linebacker in there and not just going with that nickel package.
No doubt. We saw what Michigan did last year, man. They pretty much just had a run heavy. They put the tight end on the end, and they had Alex Orji. This is kind of a similar quarterback, but he can throw a lot better than Alex Orji, but he can run just as good as Alex Orji. He's probably just as physically gifted as Alex Orji. So I think when you look at him, I think they're gonna try to do the same game plan. They're gonna try to run down our throat. Now, here's what I'm optimistic about. One thing I know about this USC team is I don't feel like the pass rush leading the country in sacks. I don't think that just drops off the face of the earth. I don't think it's impossible. Not even against a Michigan State team. That is a Big Ten team. And for our team, Anthony Lucas, for all of those guys, Desmond Tompkins, John Jarrett, Cam found all these guys. They were creating pressure and they were having sacks. I think we will see that pick back up. The secondary is a whole nother story, and we kind of talked about what we could possibly do there to maybe make some changes. But what do you think about our pass rush? Do you think it'll return, or do you think there's some struggle there?
It has to return because it has to return this coming week against Michigan. If it doesn't return, what you're going to see is Illinois all over again for the next 7 games. Our entire defense is based on pass rush, particularly getting a 4-man pass rush, which we did for the first 4 games, but we couldn't do against Illinois. All right. If we can't manufacture a pass rush with 4 people, then our defensive backs will continue to get exposed. Because we obviously that's where we're hurting, that's where we need help, and our defensive backs need that rush. Which you're going to see with Danton, and we're talking about the defense now. I mean, even though we have played 3 conference games, you haven't seen everything with our defense in regards to the schematics and just how we're going to attack the backfield and attack quarterbacks. I'm expecting Dan to put together some blitz packages, run blitz packages, blitzing out the nickel. If we're going to play 3 linebackers, and I want him to confuse the offense with that as well. But I'm expecting, a new approach, a different approach, some new wrinkles, I'll just say, as we get into this Michigan game, things that are going to help enhance our pass rush.
Yeah. No doubt. And if you remember early on in the season, you saw DeCarlos Nicholson with an interception. You saw Bishop Fitzgerald with a couple of interceptions. And I believe, to your point, most of that stuff was taking place and happening due to the pressure that the defensive line was creating.
Absolutely.
And I believe if we get back to that, I believe those guys will be active. But, I think all of us, at the end of the day, coming into the season, probably rated the defensive backfield a little higher than what we thought. And I think from a defensive back standpoint, I was talking to somebody, man, and I was telling them one of the things I think we're missing guys, playmakers. These guys are young, and I think they're going to come back, but we're missing playmakers like a Jalen Smith. Smith last year, of course, you guys know he's with the Houston Texans right now. He would come up. He wouldn't hesitate. And one of the things that I like, even from Jalen Smith, was that he did some bump and run, jamming these guys off the line of scrimmage. I want to see, they're playing this cushion with whatever. I'm not sure how they're doing it. They may be doing some press according to them, but we gotta touch the receivers, touch them,
yeah,
jab, off the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, we're playing a lot of off man, and when you talk about playing bump and run, getting up close to that receiver, jamming them, playing man from there, that's a bold position to play. You know what I'm saying? You better have a skill set, have some speed, because if you lose the line of scrimmage, you're gonna have problems. Right now, we're losing being off the line of scrimmage with our DBs. So, I'm just hoping that this all-star coaching staff that we have, and these 2 weeks that they had to prepare for Michigan, are putting together a game plan, coaching up the defense, getting our young guys ready. I think we have some more young guys who are going to be debuting in the Michigan game. So I want to see what this all-star staff can do when you give them 2 weeks to prepare for a game. I want to see Danton. I want to see Henny. I want to see Lou. I want to see Ryan step up. We celebrated these coaches when we hired them, and I think they're good coaches. I'm high on our coach. I'm high on our staff. Overall, I'm optimistic.
I'm
optimistic.
Yeah.
But we also got to tell the truth about what we see.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, I'm very optimistic, and I think we saw from the beginning of the year with the defensive backs, we just saw some coverage issues, and we saw slants from Missouri State, and that was kind of different. But if we see Kamari Ramsey get back at this safety spot, possibly that'll take place. We'll see what happens. I think we can possibly see some changes, and then if we go to a 3 linebacker set, I think that'll help correct somewhere, especially from a team like Michigan and how this style of play is. We'll see a big time heavy running style team coming up this week, and they're coming up at 12 Eastern, 9 West Coast time. So we get ready to watch them in a minute. But so moving on real quick to the offensive line, man. Would you say they exceeded expectation? Is what you expected, or I mean, what have they surprised you?
Absolutely. Listen, when you look at the fact that we have the best receiver in the nation in Mekhi Lemon, we have arguably the best receiver duo in the nation with him and Jacoby. We have two running backs that have had these first 5 games have played great. Without question, Waymon and Eli Sanders have played great, have played really good football these first 5 games. And Jaden Maava is on many people's list for the Heisman. You don't have that kind of success if you're not having success up front.
Right.
With that said, going into the season, I was somebody who was worried about the depth of the position. I was, and that was before we lost DJ and before we lost Killian. Now those two guys are out, and I'll be honest, you don't see a huge drop off as a whole on the unit. I do think that on our offensive line, we can play a little bit better in the middle, and I'm hoping to see that moving forward against Michigan, especially if Killian's out. But these guys as a whole are playing pretty good. They are. Let's be honest, USC is, we don't have an issue with our offense right now. But we're not worried about our offense. Nobody's mad or thinking about, can we score points? Can we run the ball? We're running the ball behind that O-line. Jaden Maava has plenty of time to pass the ball. I'm seeing him stand up, in the pocket, taking his time, making his reads. The O-line is playing great this year as a whole. That is, and that's a surprise to me, to be honest with you. I had concerns. I did. Even with some guys coming back, I had some concerns, but I'm happy with our starters. As a whole, I'm happy with how we've been able to move guys around and put guys in different positions. I want to get Killian O'Connor back and go from there, but I'm loving the O-line.
No doubt. Yeah, that's one of the surprises, and we may have Elijah Page coming back this week. I think he was practicing, and it sounds like he may be able to get in there. We'll see what Reed does. I think Reed, Reed has over 25 game experience at Syracuse, so I think he's a guy that's physical. I think he has to be right communication, especially when you saw the play that happened at Illinois where he was going 3 yards down the field. If he would have known that play, and maybe told that play, I'm not sure if he was, but if he was, I don't think he would have, went down there. So I think communication standpoint, he might have to be, because he's fresh in there. And that was one of the things we know about Keelan. Keelan is a guy that was like the commander-in-chief of the offensive line, if you will, and he was able to call plays and be able to kind of facilitate that whole thing. So, and from an offensive standpoint, right now, in the country, Florida State right now ranks number 1. Texas Tech ranks number 2, and then USC ranks number 3 in the country. So, to your point, when you're talking about the number 3 ranked offense in the country, right now that's the least of our concern. We can run with the best of them right now, but we don't want to have a Caleb Williams type situation, which is something that I brought up, on my podcast a couple weeks ago. After the game last week, I said I feel like this was a Caleb Williams situation where the offense has to outscore everybody. I think that just puts too much stress, too much pressure on the offense. And real quick, I want to know from you, because I hear a lot of fans as well. They're coming after Lincoln Riley right now, man. And I want to lay something out for you real quick.
Yeah.
I feel like Lincoln Riley's back in his bag from an offensive standpoint. Last year seemed to be a little bit off. So what is your overall assessment on Lincoln Riley as it relates to how he's constructed the program and how, it was a drop-off last year, but then this year, from an offensive standpoint, it's picking up. Do you feel like Lincoln Riley's done everything in his power to help bring this program up to par? And I'm gonna kind of give you some points as well after I hear from you.
I do. The only blemish you would say for Lincoln, in my opinion, was holding on to his initial defense coordinator maybe a little bit too long. But then again, that just speaks to the fact that, as Lincoln has said, Grinch got on the plane when they left Oklahoma. It was a tough time, and grown men had to make tough decisions. And Alex was loyal to Lincoln. Outside of that, I think that a lot of people think that Clay Helton and the initial the start with Lincoln Riley, that they had a certain level of support. I think that USC was lacking in backing Helton, and I think that kind of bled into the initial hire of Lincoln, and Lincoln saw that out the gate. I think, given the circumstances, I think he's done a very good job considering where USC was at when he got here. I think people really forget that and underestimate the reality of our program when Lincoln first got to the school, and just where we were overall with players, and as they transitioned into NIL, we really weren't set up. This week is probably the biggest week in his career as we head into Michigan and we head into Notre Dame. He's been the head coach. He had this is his fourth season. His first three, you could say, were highlighted by Caleb Williams, his first year when we almost went to the playoffs. But the reality is, outside of Caleb, you haven't seen, his record is the same as Clay Helton, which tells you we're not that good of a team, not good of a program. I think that NIL is in order now. I do. I think that, we have an executive staff. I think we have a general manager. I think now, after 3-4 years, Lincoln has things in place. And I think that the roster is good. I do. I think the roster is good. The defense is much better than what we've seen previously. Obviously, we're coming off a horrible loss. I get that. Going into this week with Michigan, where he has 2 weeks off, where we have that transfer portal, NIL stacked defense, and we have absolutely one of the best offensives in the country, I'm expecting Lincoln Riley to really show and to really flex his muscles in these next 2 weeks. I'm expecting us on offense and defense to come out against Michigan like something that we haven't seen. You know what I mean? And keep in mind, our offense has looked good all throughout the year. Even in Illinois, when we got our butt kicked, we scored when we had to, right? So overall, I understand what he walked into. And I think that he's made the right hires. I believe that. But I think a lot of that's going to be on display this week. Because if we don't get past Michigan and just Notre Dame looking like how we should look, it's just going to be a bad situation. It is. And I think at that point, you're going to start hearing different conversations. In year 4, where he's at, I have expectations. I do. I'm not thrown off by the loss. It was bad, but it's going to happen. And I think everybody's going to have a loss in college football. I believe that. So I am in support of Lincoln Riley, but the time is now.
No doubt. So what we do real quick, and I got another point I want to make, but we're gonna take our first call real quick. We talked about the off the line. This is Roy Benuelas. His son is Michael Benuelas. Roy, what's the word, my man?
Hey, how's it going, man?
Hey,
Jay, Marvin.
Hey, Roy. Let me just say salute to Micah. He's came in and doing a phenomenal job. We lost some guys. He's came back, man. So let me say that first and foremost, man. Big salute to Micah.
Appreciate it, guys.
Yeah.
Hey, so I only have a couple of comments as far as I'm echoing myself.
I can't even hear you. Is that on your end? Wow.
He's echoing, yeah.
Yeah.
It got to be something. I can't even hear. For some reason, I can't even hear it on my end. That's crazy.
Yeah, I'll make this short then. I think we're going to be fine, Jay. I think we're in a spot where we're missing players right now. We're having players playing in positions that they shouldn't be, right, because of the injuries, or so they're playing outside their strengths. I think our O-line is solid, and that was a surprise. But I think for Michigan, we probably need Elijah. I wish we have him back. And I say that, but that probably means that my son doesn't play. And so, but I'm looking forward to it. I think I agree with Marvin. We should start seeing progress, right? We should start seeing the pieces. I think there was some bad luck. So we'll see. But the only thing is that if another bad game or two, after that, to me, it just kind of sounds like excuses, and we kind of need to turn it around. It's kind of like now, it needs to happen. And yes, there's some challenges, but it needs to happen, man. For the coaches that we have, and yeah, that's just my thoughts, man. I'll leave it at that because of the echo.
No, I totally agree with you, Roy. Totally agree with you. And hey, look, I definitely appreciate you coming on, man. And hey, we expect to win this week coming up.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
So Roy, thanks a lot, my man.
Yes. Thank you guys. Fight
All right,
on.
Roy.
Okay.
Fight on, Roy.
Hey, fight on. So let me ask you this, particularly from a last game standpoint. Do we put this on Lincoln, or do we put this on completely on the defensive staff?
This is all about accountability and leadership. This is 100% on Lincoln as the leader, as the head coach, as the guy who's made all the hires, and ultimately all the decisions go through Lincoln. Lincoln is he's aware of what their defensive game plan is. He's aware of what Dan is trying to do. They have those conversations. At the end of the day, we just didn't execute. That's it. We didn't win the one-on-one matchups up front with our four-man rush. We got our butt kicked. We got stood up, and all of it's on Lincoln, because if we win that game, all the praise goes to Lincoln Riley and his defense that he hired and brought in. Guys, again, I'm not out on Lincoln, and I think what we realize, what we're seeing is Lincoln is still growing. People don't want to hear that after a $100 million contract, but Lincoln's still growing. He's still evolving. This NIL space is something that all of college football is trying to figure out how it's supposed to go. I think that USC started slow, but with everything that's going on with our program, it's all under Lincoln. So when you see a defensive collapse, it's under Lincoln. Now Lincoln's going to have a conversation, as he already had with Dan. They sit down and they watch the film, and then Dan has to also take on some of that accountability, because he's the coordinator defense, right? But it all falls on Lincoln: the good, the bad, and the ugly. When you're the head coach, you get all the praise, and you're the one who's be the first to get fired if there's a problem. I'm not calling for that at all, because I think that, again, I believe in what we're doing as a whole, and I think we just had a horrible situation last week.
Yeah, no doubt. Me personally, I felt like the game was on. I felt like Lincoln called a good game from an offensive perspective. I felt like the defensive perspective, I didn't see no. Now you can tell me if you did. I didn't see no adjustments from first half to second half. It just seemed like we kept doing the same thing, and we know what the definition of insanity is. I said this on my show after the game. No, I was with J-Walk last week. I said insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting the same results, and I just felt like we kept the same thing. The same thing, and it was the same results.
Yeah. So again, out the gate, what I noticed is that we just couldn't get rushed. We went into that game as the top pass rush defense in the nation. We went into that game leading the nation in stats. We went into the game with Anthony Lucas already being listed as one of the premier pass rushers in the nation, just from the first four
we had
games.
two guys on there, Anthony Lucas and Cam Fountain.
Exactly. Crawford, exactly.
So,
guys, listen, we need to help this front out if they can't get pressure. Bringing in that fifth DB, blitzing that nickel is going to probably be where it's at. Again, the problem with that is it puts pressures on the other corners. And I think this week we're going to be playing some more young corners. So we really need to be strong from defensive end to defensive end. We need to be able to collapse the pocket with four people like we did this first four games. Again, I know it was lesser competition, but it still had Big Ten competition in there, and it's still man on man. So we need to be able to collapse the pocket from the middle, and the guys on the end need to be able to bend around and get that quarterback. We have to win with the four-man rush.
No doubt. So look, what we want to do real quick is take some calls, because I see they stacking up real quick, and we could go from there.
Let's do it.
Christian, what's the word?
What's good?
Man, how you doing, man?
Man, all right, man. Blessed to see another morning.
Absolutely. What you got for us, man? Hey, look, everybody, the link is in the chat. You guys come on in, man, and we can get it rolling. What you got, Chris?
Yeah, I was just going to say, so going into the Illinois game, right? So what I seen in the Illinois game, I've been saying since game one. Like going into the Illinois game, on 42% of our opponent's rushes attempts, they were getting 4 yards or more on the ground. At least 4 yards more, bro. After the Illinois game, it's up to 50% that on opponents' rush attempts, they're getting 4 yards or more. So every three, I just want to ask too, like, I was complaining about I didn't see any schematic changes against Illinois to stop the run or anything like that. But I've been thinking over this week, and my conundrum is that there's not really a scheme change or anything that can account for defensive linemen being pushed 4 and 5 yards off the ball. Right? There's not really an adjustment that can fix that. Like if the D line is getting blown off the ball 4 and 5 yards on single blocks and double blocks, and linebackers are not coming downhill, and so that double block is just pushing the 3 technique back, and then that other offensive lineman is going to the linebacker who's catching. It's not really a scheme issue there, or that can account for that. And then if we do load the box, the conundrum is that can our young corners man up on the outside by themselves, and do you want to leave them on the island? So as a defensive coordinator, it's really tough to call a defense because it starts up front, and if you can't help up front because you're afraid you're going to get the ball thrown over your head in the back end, man, it's tough to call plays as a DC.
Yeah. Hey, Christian, let me ask you a question real quick. So when we were leading the country in sacks just a couple of weeks ago, all these guys getting major penetration. You still think that we were getting beat up front?
You're talking about pass. I'm talking about rush defense. So our rush. What was happening is in those first games, the yards that the total yards that the opponents were getting were due to sacks, right? Because our offense was jumping out to a big lead. Teams were abandoning the run and running less, and we were getting sacks, which was taken away from their total yards. But if you just look at the rush attempts and don't account for the sacks taken away, going into Illinois, on 42% of our opponents' rush attempts, they were getting 4 yards or more. Illinois ran the ball 34 times. 24 times were for 4 yards or more. That's a high number, but the conundrum is you can't load. It's hard to load the box because of what the issues is on the back end. Normally, if you're having trouble stopping the run, you load the box. But with the issues we have on the back end, it's tough to do that because then you're dealing with the conundrum of, okay, do we let them run down the field and hope they make a mistake, get a holding period and get behind, or do we load this box and take the risk of having the ball thrown over our head?
Exactly. He's absolutely right.
So Melvin, I'm sorry, Marvin.
Yeah. And the first part of that he's saying is it doesn't matter what play you call. This is about the Jimmies and the Joes. You know what I'm saying? When you're getting blown off the ball, it don't matter if you change the play, change the scheme, whatever it may be. At the end of the day, if these men ain't stout, ready to attack, ready to execute, the play calling means nothing. This is not about play calling; it's about execution. And you hear execution. Yeah, you hear execution being the word used, after every game in all sports, and that's where we're failing on defense, as this young man is called out.
My suggestion is you have to stop something. And my college coach, I played cornerback in college, and my DC, our mentality going to every game is that whatever the team's strength is, that's what we're going to take away and make you beat us with what you don't want to do. And if you can do that, we'll tip our cap to you. So Michigan wants to run. I say load the box up and see if Underwood can consistently stay accurate, make the right reads, and throw the ball over our head. Because either way, I trust USC in the shootout with our offense, our quarterback, and wide receivers more in that type of game than a game like Saturday versus Illinois, where the team can run the ball and pass the ball on us and control the clock and dictate whatever they want to do.
Yeah, so one of the things we talked about was loading the box. I really didn't see a whole lot of blitzing last game. I don't know what the what the deal was with that, and I think I brought that up on the live. Now, I know this last game that we had Devin Tompkins starting on the inside, and then I think I seen J.D. Abasari starting on the inside. I don't know if they wanna kind of switch that around. You know, Devin Tompkins last year in the LSU game, you remember he was a force to be reckoned with on that edge. Him and Anthony Lucas both were going crazy. You remember that, Christian?
Yeah.
So I'm saying that to say I don't know if personnel standpoint, if they want to do something different, if they want to kind of put the big bodies in there, you may just have to rotate them out, whether it's Kobe Pepe or whether it's Josh Jarrett. I don't know. But so are you saying that from get-go, you've been seeing these guys get blown off the ball? I personally haven't seen that from get-go. I saw him last week against Illinois getting blown off the ball. I haven't seen him getting blown off the ball like that from these previous games. Have you, Marvin?
He's right. Listen, if you go back to the first game, there is in each of the 4 games, even the first 2 games with the lower FBS schools, there were a few series in there where they were able to run the ball a little bit. I'm not saying take over or dash. It wasn't really, so obvious when you're scoring 60, 70 points on the other side. But he's right in that. I mean, you saw that, and you didn't think much of it because we were winning by 40, 50, 60 points. But there were issues initially, small issues. At this point, what we're hoping again, like I said, I'm worried about on run plays. I'm worried about the presence of our 2 bigs. We spent time and money bringing these guys in, and I'm not seeing I know we had the thick 6. That's great. Super athletic kid, love him. But Keyshawn and Jared, these guys, where are they at? We need that push.
No, I mean, those are big 300-pound guys, man. They put the highlights up, they put the the pictures, the social media and all that. But yeah, you definitely want to see those big bodies, man. Get in there and just create that.
Dominate, Jay.
Man,
dominate.
Yeah.
Kick ass. Beat their butt. Get physical. That's what we need. That's what I thought we was getting. They talk about again. The SEC gets all this praise and all this stuff. We got a kid from the SEC. The attitude, the narrative is this kid's gonna fill the middle. He's gonna be attacking style. He's coming off some starts. And even though we played 5 games, we had a lot of football left. So these kids have a lot of opportunity to get better and grow. These coaches have a lot of opportunity to get in there. These 2 weeks off are the biggest 2 weeks of our season, going into Michigan and Notre Dame. This right here, we're at a fork in the road right now. Kid you not, we are at a fork in the road, and these coaches have to take us to the right.
If we don't win, I could see if we don't win this game, and I'm not even gonna say if because I don't even like speaking that, but yeah, I could just see things going. A whole different route. The way I saw it in the beginning, I saw some guys, getting, I didn't see it like I saw it last week, but I saw hesitation from a linebacker standpoint, filling the gaps. I thought that's what we saw, and and I'll say this: Eric Gentry, he's on his way, I think, to be a Buckets Award winner. He has that potential right now. He has a lot of tackles, but. I just saw in the beginning and we talked about this, I think, Chris, on previous lives. I just saw some hesitation in filling those gaps. I felt like the defensive line previously, not Illinois, that's a whole different game. I thought they were getting enough push to where we had to get these gaps filled. Did you see any of that?
It's both. It's the front 7. So when I talk about rush defense, I'm talking about front 7 because basically. It's not all on the D-line. It's the complete front 7. Because what Illinois was doing is Illinois was doubling the 3 technique, right? Pushing the 3 technique back, and linebackers were sitting catching and not attacking and not coming downhill. And so then the double, once they got to the linebacker level, he would fall off that 3 technique and go to that linebacker.
I saw one play they had Jaden Walker when he came in. And I put it on my Instagram and my Twitter. It seemed like when he came in, his explosion and running downhill was a little bit different. I don't know, what the deal is with that, but it just seemed like he was different when he came in, number 31. And I don't know, maybe that's something we could look at. I think Eric Gentry's going to be Eric Gentry. He's just going to fly around the field. And it's no disrespect to any player. even Desmond Stevens, I think he has the potential to be a phenomenal player. I just saw a little bit of different explosiveness when number 31 came in the game. Marvin, what about you?
Yeah, I've been a little back and forth with Desmond. A lot of hype, a lot of praise he got in the offseason. And that's, and he earned that, worked hard in the offseason. He showed defensive staff, what he can do. But I do feel like, and I think he would acknowledge that there's probably been a little bit of inconsistency with him showing up. I've seen where he's had impact. I've seen where he's made plays. I've also seen us go through defensive series and he disappears, I feel like, He's a young player, who is he? I think he's a third year player at this point.
He was a
Sophomore.
freshman last year.
Okay.
Sophomore.
Yeah, he's a young player. So
Yeah, he's gonna bounce
look,
back.
he's somebody who I'm looking to see show up more in the defense and more in impactful plays. To be honest with you, we go through too many parts of the game where he's in there, but you're not hearing his name. You're not seeing the impact. I think he has the ability. We have to see it on a more consistent basis, though.
Absolutely.
And speaking of linebackers, as a group, what can happen is our linebackers led the team in tackles last week, but they were all 5 and 6, 7 yards down the field.
Yeah, we don't. That's not the way we don't.
That
want
can't happen.
At all. Now, it's a couple of plays too, and I'm sure you saw this. That run going up the sideline with the running back that was 250 pounds.
The swing pass.
That swing pass.
Yeah. I know you probably saw it on social media. I saw it, but I didn't realize Braylon Conley was being held because I felt like I'm just like, how did that guy just go up the sideline like that? And I saw a clip. Somebody posted it on Twitter. I'm trying to remember who put it, but anyway, it looked like Braylon Conley was held pretty good. It looked like he was getting ready to make that tackle. But anyway, hey Chris, let me let you go, man. I got this line filling up. I'm gonna take the next caller, man. I appreciate it.
All right, man. Y'all be blessed, man.
All right,
Take care, Chris.
right on. We'll take a couple more and get out of here. Young Tiny.
Hey, what up, fam? Top of the morning.
Hey, how you doing, man?
I'm blessed, bro. How you doing, Marvin?
Hey, man, what's going on, brother? Fight on.
All right. Yeah, I kind of feel where everybody coming from. Christian made valid points though, and I actually agree with him in regards to the run defense. Georgia State, like we alluded to, a lot of people were running on us, but it wasn't significant due to us running up the score, and I guess it was kind of like overlooked. But as far as the rush defense, I did see us getting pushed back. Now we were leading the country in sacks. That's because our pass, like people were in pass, they had to pass basically to catch up, and it wasn't necessary blitz packages. It was stunts and pick plays with our front four, and we'll line up Lucas in the middle, and he had stunt around. It was just stunts, and it was just great stunts and pick plays, and we were getting to the quarterback. I'm kind of torn with the Ramsey thing because, of course, we know he's an All-American in that back end. He's a safety. He's an excellent safety, been for years. But like we just alluded to, linebackers not flying downhill. That's where Christian Pierce comes in play. Christian Pierce comes downhill from that safety position and run support. Now, our secondary, right? We agree that it's the slants, it's the plan off, it's the quick slants. Yeah, we have some miscues like when DJ Harvey failed on that one deep pass, but are we really getting beat deep over the top? Or is it quick slants? Or is it like you just said, wheel routes up the sideline, missed tackles, bad angles? I don't really see him throwing it deep like that to the point where Ramsey at that free safety could be a ball hawk and a playmaker so far this season.
Well, I'm
So,
gonna say this. You remember last year? I think it was the Wisconsin game. Ramsey came. The way he diagnosed the play, Jalen Smith did the same thing. Even though he was at the safety spot, we saw the closing speed that Ramsey had, and it was a player coming out the backfield. It's like he shot out of a cannon coming out of nowhere. I just think he's able to diagnose plays differently from a safety standpoint, whereas when he's playing nickel, that's not taking anything from anybody. I got love for Christian Pierce, but I think Ramsey was an All-American, a projected third round for a reason. You know,
And I'm in agreement with you. Like I agree.
I love Christian Pierce. I've been waiting on him.
Yeah, no, but I agree what you're saying as far as that aspect. But then we have to look at, okay, what was the coverages of the play? What was the defensive schematic called? Like I remember the plays vividly you're talking about.
Yeah.
You know, but if he's playing back at free, I mean, as great as he is he gonna jump a quick slant from back there? you know what I'm saying? So like,
I get what I know exactly what you're saying.
so like I'm totally in agreement with you. He's an awesome player. I love Ramsey, bro, and I will love him in the back. But like the brother Marvin said earlier, we gotta have the best 11 players on the field. And if that causes for us to have our great player that is versatile, yes, we love him at safety, but if he's versatile enough, while I understand people don't feel like the impact is the same with him at nickel, but he still could be the green dot, and he could still, I don't know. I remember I heard Jaywalk the other day say the same thing. Like he could be significant from both spots.
No, I agree.
That's all I'm saying.
I agree, Marvin.
And if our linebackers not going flying downhill like we would like them to do, Christian Pierce, that's where he comes in at.
Marvin,
You know, so.
What'd you say, Jay?
If you had anything you want to say on that?
Yeah, I stand on what I said. I think Kamari's best at the top of the defense with the green dot. If you put him at the nickel, he's a physical player and he has great intuition and instincts. But if you put him at nickel, I mean, hopefully that's in a situation where you think it's going to be a run play, or you want to bring him off the edge as a blitzer because he's good in those situations. Our best bet is when he's playing back. That's just the bottom line. We need to coach our cornerbacks up. I think the caller makes a great point. You don't see us getting beat over the top a ton. Obviously, we saw it in the last game, but we're losing in situations. We're losing in third downs. We're losing in, I'm thinking of the sideline play with number 25 in Illinois, second half of the game. He was playing off on third down, and it was like 3rd and 7 or something like that. So schematically, Dan can do a lot to help us out, but our defense is based on the bigs in the middle having a presence, clogging it up, and allowing to push them back, and allowing the guys on the outside to cave it in. That's been our success, and we have to get back to that.
No, I agree. Young Tiny, anything you want to say? And I'm gonna take this last call that's up here.
Yeah, and I just want to reassure that I agree. I know Kamari will be great on the back end. I'm not saying that he shouldn't be back there, but I'm just saying if we're going to have the 11 best players on the field, and with Christian Pierce's skill set, I mean, what do we do? Move him to a dime linebacker? Maybe. You guys are talking about 3 linebacker sets. What about putting him at the dime backer?
Well,
I mean,
I'll tell you what, against Michigan, we should forget dime.
Yeah. No, I know. Yeah, no, you're right. I know. I'm just saying.
Yeah, listen, bring me that third linebacker. Bring me that third linebacker. Whoever it is.
And that got to be Jaden Walker, though.
Yeah. So see, that's the thing. If we're gonna have the mic to Sam the Will, you're gonna have to. It's gonna be Jaden Walker. It's gonna probably be. Maybe Stevens and then Eric Gentry, but let me tell you this: Tamir Robinson, number 41. I think he's number 40.
He ball too.
Number 14 or 41. I can't. But he absolutely played ball last week, and I think that was kind of overshadowed. So that may be a guy that you want to consider there as well. So it's a tricky situation. The bottom line is this defense got to play better, man. But I'm gonna take this other call real quick before we get out of here.
All right.
Appreciate you, fam. Stefan, what's the word?
Top of the morning, fellas. Top of the morning.
Man, how you doing, man?
Oh man, I'm hanging in there. What's going on with you, man?
Oh man, we here, man.
Hey, you're a busy man. This man right here, he was just on Mark's show this morning. Well, I seen the pre-recorded. He's been on the show a few days. I've been watching y'all, man, and catching up with y'all. I know you was saying something about RJ Sermons was coming back or something like that. He working his way back.
Well, I think,
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, from what I'm told, R.J. Sermon and Alex Graham are both um, apparently practicing right now.
It's needed.
Yeah. I don't know how that's going to work with R.J. Sermon, if it, but I just heard Alex Graham could possibly start at, be in the rotation at the nickel spot. That's just what I heard in practice.
Right.
So we'll see how that happens, because if that happens, we're saying that you could possibly see Kamari Ramsey back at the safety spot. But we'll see. Hey, we may see the same thing. Like Young Tiny was saying, we may see the best 11 on the field. However the coaches see it, man, we just got to get some pressure, and we got to get some better coverage.
No, yeah. And at the end of the day, the schedule it gets tougher from here. You know what I'm saying? But I just feel like we up for the challenge. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, I feel like that loss just lit a fire under our, you know what? You know what I mean? So we'll be all right. And at the end of the day, I feel like hopefully they all come together today and watching this Michigan game, and they getting a study on and seeing what they do and what the likes and dislikes or whatever. Well, we could be ready for come next week. You know what I mean? So hopefully that's what we preparing and they're getting ready, man. Because at the end of the day, really, to be honest with you, we should be 5-0. But we'll take that L, and it ain't the end of the world. That's why when we was talking last week, USCJ, we was saying about it ain't the end of the end of the world, because at the end of the day, it's only one loss. It's not the BCS era, so you know what I'm saying. You don't have to go undefeated. So luckily, we still got a chance to get in the playoffs or whatever and go handle our business.
No, I agree.
Yeah, this is big. This is big. I mean, we should be 5-0 without question, and I think that's what's frustrating for a lot of SC fans. We know the caliber team we have. We know the players we brought in. We know the coaches that we brought in. We know that really has been growing and just learning every year. So going into this season, we all have. I mean, I had expectations. I had questions, but I had expectations because it's year 4. And we got to see something, right? And for 4 weeks, we saw flashes. Last week, we saw an offense come back, and we saw some heart from our offense. But we need, again, our all-star coaching staff, all-star defensive coaching staff to step up and put together a game plan that just, that shuts down the Michigan run. People, they're not coming out there. They're not coming out there. Now, their quarterback is a stud. He's a young freshman stud. But they've had 10 drops this year. They had 4 drops last game. They're gonna run the ball. They're gonna run the ball. That's their whole game.
Stack the box.
Danton, Rex, Penny, Nua. They're gonna run the ball. They come at us on 3rd and mid, 3rd and short. They running the ball. Quarterback draws on 3rd and long. They running the ball. So let's we got this is Lincoln Riley and Danton Lynn's opportunity. Just nothing but opportunity this week. Nothing.
What's funny, fellas, though? It's funny how we lose a game, right? And me and USCJ talk about this all the time, but it's funny how we get unranked and it's like it's USC is all downhill from there. But when you got who was that? The Florida, when Florida beat who was that USCJ we was talking about? Well, a couple teams just lost or whatever, like Alabama lost.
Florida State lost against an unranked Virginia team.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we lost against on the road by 2 points, a ranked Illinois team.
What is it that I'm really baffled. Like, what is it that they got against USC? Is it a California thing, or is it what is it? Like, why is it that y'all so biased against us, man?
There is a West Coast bias without question.
It's always been, man. It's always
been the case.
Is it because of our weather? Is it, you know what I mean?
It's new. It's all that.
Right. But you know when it started, though. But that's no different subject. But at the end of the day, we got to just take care of our business. And if we take care of our business, we ain't got nothing to worry about. They ain't gonna have no choice but to put us in and we do what we do. Because we got the talent.
You got to earn it
Yeah,
though.
no, of course, we have to earn it. But the thing that frustrates me is every time they bring up the Oregon game, like they just say like, oh, if Oregon just gonna go in there and dominate. We got athletes to match up athlete for athlete, man. Stop playing us like we can't match up with. They got Phil Knight, okay, they got the 20 million jerseys that they can change it to, but we have the athletes to go against Oregon or whatever. And they is physical. They look nice or whatever over there, but at the end of the day, I feel like we can, mano a mano.
That's
We
it.
My
gotta prove
opinion.
it, and we definitely got to prove it though, fam. But
No, we
hey,
do.
man, I appreciate you, man. I'm gonna take
Most
this
most
last
definitely, USCJ. You snuck up on me on this one in the morning, man. You was up top of the morning. This is
Hey, man, it's go hard or go home, big dog.
right. That
You
part. All
already
right.
know.
Hey, fight on, fellas.
Hey, man. Hey, fight on. Appreciate you, family. Last one. Kamasi, how you doing?
Man, glory be to God, man. Salute to you, brother.
Kamasi,
What's
are
your
you,
name?
are you
What's,
still, you sound like you still, are you under the weather, man, or under the covers?
nah, I'm really trying to stay calm. Really trying to
Oh, okay,
stay calm.
yeah. Your voice
So,
sounds a little sketchy. You doing all right,
nah,
brother?
I'm trying to stay calm because I love these little brothers. And anytime anybody say anything, I really get a certain way. I know I'm a special situation. Uh, shoot, you know, God allowed me to come in through Kerry Cobra and about being. I never used to watch college football. It was about, man, can you talk to this brother, that brother, and this brother? Jay, you from Crenshaw District, and so when it comes to being a native accountant, L.A., Long Beach, we look at these brothers as our little brothers. It's not about anything except brothers praying for you, rooting for you. And so I'm really trying to make sure that I say the right thing because I get super protective and super hot. And so what I want to say is that salute. I've been wanting to say a long time. Salute to Jacoby for the leader that he's becoming. Glory be to God. The brother is just. If you look at the small things that he's doing to be a leader, it's just amazing. The brother Makai Lemon, people don't know these little brothers. They don't know their spirit. They can only really see them on TV. But I want to make a point about Makai Lemon. If he was at cornerback, then he would probably be the top cornerback in the nation. And why is that? It might be because the spirit that he plays. Now, Eric Gentry, another person who has a warrior spirit. There's people out there with these. I use these words lightly because only God has power and there's levels to everything, but for the lingo of things. He has the warrior spirit, Talanoa Hufanga. So if you look at Talanoa Hufanga and the way that he plays, and then look at Makai Lemon at wide receiver, you can see the same type of spirit of domination. And so I'm hearing what everybody's saying. I want to make sure I salute these little brothers. I understand the concept of stout linebacker, but at the same time, when it comes time for a person to play with spirit, what's the difference between spirit and stout? Only God has strength. Domination, velocity, and density is what it is. And so I want to bravo all the little brothers. Everybody is the best in the world. There's no offense to anything anybody said. I want to just make sure these brothers are in the highest of spirits to be able to go ahead and dominate with confidence because everybody understands there's been little mishaps or whatnot, and confidence being very key to go back and dig into that spirit and do what God allows us to do as warriors of God.
No, man. Hey, I appreciate you, Kamasi, and those who don't know Kamasi, he was very active in the Clay Helton era. You usually see him on the field, and used to be with a lot of guys. He's probably Talanoa Hufanga, all those guys, man. Even been with Lemon, pitches with all those guys. So, look, hey, I appreciate. Hey, the thing about those guys that you mentioned, Lemon, Lane, and a couple of other guys, those guys they playing with a lot of heart. And so to your point, I think we want to see everybody play with that level of intensity, and specifically when you look at Makai Lemon, he doesn't be denied. Even though he's smaller in structure, but in stature rather, this guy goes after it like nobody's business, and he's not gonna be denied. Like that one touchdown he had where he had everybody grabbing on him, Makai Lemon wasn't gonna be denied, and we have to have that same mentality to your point on the D line, and that's just simple as that. They're big enough, they're athletic enough, the coaches evaluated the film enough. So at the end of the day, we want to see them attack it and let it rise up. You know, nobody's gonna lay down because of, you know, we got USC or they're gonna be at the Coliseum, USC on the jersey, and they're in the Coliseum. We gotta go out there and take it, man. So I said it on my podcast last week. When somebody punch you in the mouth, you gotta punch back. So Kamasi, I appreciate you, brother.
I
We're gonna close
appreciate
this thing up.
I
All right,
appreciate
fam. All right, hey Marvin. So hey man, we've been on here for an hour, man. We got 412 people in here. I'll take a picture of that so I can.
Jay, let's do it again, man. Jay, we gotta fix this echo and do it again.
Man, I gotta figure this out, man. I don't even. I'm lost in the sauce, man. But I definitely appreciate you coming in and we able to take the calls, man. We're gonna do it again. Everybody, we got high expectations, man. But what's the last things you want to leave with us, real quick?
Listen, nothing better than just Trojan life, y'all. You know, the standard is the standard. You know, we have high expectations. We love our school. We love our program. We love our community. We love our culture. We love all, you know, but, you know, we can't lose ourselves in adversity. Adversity reveals who you are. Adversity is an opportunity for you to show what you are and who you are.
Absolutely.
So as we go through it and we deal with the, you know, the highs, and it's been the highs these first 4 weeks, right? Now we're dealing with, you know, something different. Listen, don't lose yourself. It's okay to be honest about what it is. It's okay to talk about what it is. But we're the USC Trojans. We have a good team. We have a good coach. I like our chances in every situation. I'm Trojan versus everybody, and I'm expecting to see our outstanding defensive staff put together a great situation for our players on defense this week. I'm Marvin Powder III. Jay, I love your show, man. You are one of the people who are at the top, and I love what you do, and I love being a part of this with you today, brother.
Hey, well, this is not gonna be a last time at all. So I definitely appreciate you, man. Hey, I'm about to end this, man. Until later on. Hey, hold on for 1 second, Marvin. Until later on, listen, everybody stay blessed. We out of here, man. Fight on, fight on, fight on.